Hello everyone, Jedi Styles here, back today with quite a few actually TTMs here. So I'm going to jump right into it, so the video is not long. I'm just going to give you a few stats about each guy, and then I'll move on because like I said, I don't like to make my videos too long. Alright, so the first one, actually I need some of your help, was a return. It wasn't returned to sender, he opened it, saw what was in it, and returned it to me in the envelope, in the in the SAS. So it was 0 for 1, coming out of North Texas, Dallas, Texas. It took 10 days. He returned everything, including the money. And it came from Roger Staubach. I did send one card and $10, because I've seen other people do that, but I guess $10 was not enough. So if anybody knows how much Roger Staubach is, I would greatly appreciate you telling me. Thought $10 was enough. Not even sure if I'm going to send back out to him if it's too much more than, but we shall see. But if anybody knows, Roger Staubach was is more than $10 now. All right, the next one is coming out of Santa Barbara, California. It was a 2 of 2 success. It was free in 18 days. Now, guys, I hope my titles I'm trying to make them somewhat interesting, somewhat funny, trying to get you guys to guess who my TTMs are going to be for the week. So I'm doing them in order this week of the title. So this was the first name that was up there. Like I said, it was free in 18 days, 2 of 2 success. And this was coming from Mr. Mark Summers himself. So Mr. Mark Summers signed both of the Allen and Ginters, the regular size card and the mini. It looks very nice on both cards. Signed it in blue there, as you can see. He is now 68 years old, hard to believe. He is best known for the Nickelodeon show DoubleDare. Those of you who might have been younger or have kids might have watched that. You can see some of that in the back a little bit. So interesting there. So thank you, Mr. Summers, for that return. And he did actually respond to my letter. I asked his favorite moment. He has said so many. He did Oprah 3 times, The Tonight Show, Howard Stern Show twice. And he says he's been very lucky. Be safe, Mark Summers, and of course he signed the letter right there also. So thank you very much, Mark Summers. All right, the second one is coming out of San Diego, California. It is also a 2 of 2 success in 15 days. This was also free. And this also signed the letter. Was coming from Mr. Rolf Bernirsky. Sorry. I know how to say the name. My wife is Polish, so, and her last name was actually Pashki before she married me, so Benershki. But Mr. Rolf signed them in blue ballpoint pen, but that is okay. I could deal with that, no problem there. He signed the 82 tops, both of them. Well, one's an action card, the other one's just the base card. So I appreciate that, Mr. Benershki. He is 65 years old now. He is in the Chargers Hall of Fame. He did make one Pro Bowl appearance in 1982. He played 10 years in the league from 1977 to 1986. You can see the back of this card. This is an 82 card. In 1983, he won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. So, like I said, he is in the Chargers Hall of Fame. Very nice. All right, the next one. Oh, the letter. His best player he's ever played against is Kellen Winslow and Lawrence Taylor. And his favorite stadiums were the Kingdome in Seattle and Mile High Stadium in Denver. So thank you, Mr. Bernirsky, for all right, next one is coming out of Louisville, Kentucky. It is a 3 of 3 success in 25 days. It is free. Guys, if you don't have this one, you need to go ahead and get it. Free. You can't beat free on a Hall of Famer. Mr. Paul Hornung. Signed 3 cards. They're all from the same set. Same year. Sorry. So he signed this one. Very nice. Let me put the thing back there. Mr. Paul Hornung is now 84 years old, so I would suggest some of you go ahead and get him if you don't have him. Of course, he is in the Hall of Fame. He played 9 years from 1957 to 1966. Funny little fact here is he did not play in 1963 because he was suspended for gambling. So that was an interesting little thing I found out about him. He is a two-time Pro Bowler in 1959 and 1960, two times All-Pro in 60 and 61, and he does have a Super Bowl championship ring. He is a four-time NFL champ, and he did win the 1961 MVP. So there's Mr. Paul Hornung. Very awesome. And he also did reply to my questions. The best player he said he played against was Bart Starr. His writing, I'm sorry, was hard to read. His favorite stadiums to play were in the old Green Bay Stadium, so he's probably a little biased. I can't really read what else he wrote, but that was basically it. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul Hornung. The next one is coming out of Tampa, St. Petersburg, Florida. It's a 1 of 1, free in 8 days. And this is Mr. Ike Delock. Mr. Ike Delock signed this one card here for me, as you can see, nicely in blue. This was a 63 tops. Mr. Delock is now 90 years old, so here's another one if you want to get him. You might get him now. He played... I can't read my own writing. He played 11 years, mostly for Boston. Actually, he played like 10 and a half years for Boston and a half a year for Baltimore. 84 to 75. Oh, he had a career. That's what it is. His career record was 84 wins, 75 losses, and he did have 31 saves in his career. So this is Mr. Ike Delock. All right, next one is a 1 of 1 success in 13 days. This did cost $10 coming out of Miami, Florida. A couple of you got this back already. Mr. Juan Marshall, Mr. Hall of Famer, one of the Mr. Giants. Not the Mr. Giant, but you could say that he deserves that nickname just as much as anybody else, pretty much. He signed it very nicely. He is now 82 years old. This is a 69 tops that he signed here. He played 16 years, 14 of those with the Giants, and then the Giants don't like to talk about, but he did play 1 year with the Reds and 1 year with the Dodgers late in his career. I could say so much about this guy. I was looking up his stats. I was dumbfounded. Unbelievable stats. 243 wins, 142 losses. He had a career ERA of 2.89. He had over 2,300 strikeouts, 244 complete games, 52 shutouts. I could go on and on about this guy. Of course, he is in the Hall of Fame. He is a 10 times All-Star, which he got in 62 to 69 and in 1971. He won an ERA title in 1969 with a 2.1 ERA. And he was the All-Star MVP in 1962. He led the league in wins twice. In 1963, he had 25 wins, and in 1968, he had 26 wins. One little interesting tidbit about Mr. Juan Marshall. In 1966, he went 25-6 as a pitcher. 25-6. Unbelievable record. But he also batted .250 that year in 112 at-bats. So he helped himself out to help him get 25 wins that year. I mean, he batted .250. Amazing for a pitcher. All right, and the last one is a 1 of 1 success. It took only 9 days from Coral Stream, Illinois. It is a $5 charge, but that $5 is well worth it if you... And this is coming from Mr. Ryne Sandberg. I got him to sign this Allen and Ginter. It looks beautiful on that card with the blue. Very nice, Mr. Sandberg. Pretty awesome. Of course, he is in the Hall of Fame, as all of you know. He is now 61 years old. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned that Juan Marshall is now 82 years old. And Ryne Sandberg is 61. Hard to believe that he's 61 years old. He played 16 years. In actuality, but he played from 1981 to 1997, but he did not play at all in 1995. He took the year off that year. He did play, well, I'll get to that in a minute. Let me tell you his stats for a minute. He had he almost had 2,400 hits. He had over 280 home runs, career batting average of 285. He had over 1,000 RBIs, over 1,300 runs scored. He is, like I said, he is in the Hall of Fame. He was a 1984 MVP. He was a 10-time All-Star. 10 straight years he was in the All-Star game from 1984 to 1993. He won the Gold Glove 9 times, and he won the Silver Slugger Award 7 times. I consider, as I was looking at his stats, I believe that 1990 was probably one of his best years, to be honest. Very debatable, but to be honest, I think 1990 might have been. He led the league in runs scored. He led the league in home runs. He batted .306 that year and had 100 RBIs. It was one of his better years that he's had. Not to say he didn't have any other good years, but that was one of his best. Now, he did play 16 years in the league. 15 of those were with the Chicago Cubs. He finished up with the Chicago Cubs. But he did not start with the Chicago Cubs. This team probably does not like to admit this, but he did play 1 year with the Philadelphia Phillies. And probably one of the most, or the worst trades ever is Ryne Sandberg and Larry Bowa got traded to Chicago, and Philadelphia got Ivan DeJesus. So I'm just wondering, Philadelphia, how did that go for you? That's got to be a horribly bad taste in your mouth. You gave up Larry Bowa and Ryne Sandberg for Ivan DeJesus. Horrible. Of course, hindsight, but still. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching my TTM video for today. I appreciate every single one of you. Like I said, I'm trying to catch up on everybody else's videos. I'm getting there slowly. I'm going to have less time coming up because the thing I do every year where I scare people at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, I have been offered to do that again this year. There's going to be very few of us doing it, but I was one of the ones they wanted, so I'm going to be doing that starting Friday, actually. So for the month of October, it's going to be very hectic for me, so I will try to watch as many videos as I can. I apologize ahead of time. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, thank you for commenting, and thank you for sticking with me, and I will see you next time.